The term never meet your heroes has never been better showcased than on the internet. It has become routine. Person becomes famous. Person has an audience. Person uses that audience for perverted sexual schemes. Person gets outed for it.
I didn't know she was 12.
Oh no.
Now, I won't speculate too much about what is going on here, because honestly, any and all reasonings that I would come up with will only make the world seem more bleak. All I'll say is that there is some connection between becoming more powerful and becoming a predator. That could mean two things. Either there are more and more predators around us than we realize, and that them getting to where they are allows their predatory tendencies to be exploited easier, or on the other hand, it could mean that fame and fortune leads some, if not a lot of people to become predators. Both scenarios fill me with dread. But this isn't what this video is about. We're here to recount the most public cases of YouTubers getting caught doing this shit. So let's fucking do this. EDP, one of the biggest lol cows in this video, and yes, I mean biggest in both senses of the word. He was actually caught twice doing what he did, talking to minors and sending them explicit messages and images. It all culminated in this fabulous dick pic, and yes, EDP is in fact uncircumcised. His excuse for wanting to meet a 13-year-old in person was that he wanted a cupcake.
And you said
Correct.
okay, alright. So, again, what brings you out here today?
Well, I was coming out here to...
Glasses off.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
Bruh. Cupcakes are the last thing you need. What you need is to eat some zero-calorie pavement. Like a morbidly obese cockroach, EDP somehow finds a way to crawl out of the oversized gutter and still make content. Yes, you heard that right. He has a new channel. And motherfucker, he has more subs than me. What am I doing wrong?
Good games, Greg. This one is kind of funny. A Blade and Soul hashtag gamer found it to be a smart decision to solicit as many nudes from as many girls in his audience, regardless of their age. He thought it would be a good idea to threaten suicide if he didn't get sent any nudes. This particular example involves a teenager, where he keeps on telling her that he will kill himself with pills if she doesn't send him photos of her naked. Class act. The best video on the matter is Kaya and Charlie reading the chat log.
Promise we get to talk tomorrow?
I'll be dead.
I'm not gonna send you nudes.
Okay then. I'm taking the pills now then. You could. All you had to do was keep your promise. Sorry, that turned real gangsta all of a sudden. Keep your promise. I'll call 911.
Well, according to you, the only way to prove it would be to send you nudes.
Just a little time.
It's too late if you're already this bad.
Hospital only 4 miles away. You're a fucking idiot, Greg.
Interestingly, he still tried to keep making money from Patreon instead of deleting his entire existence online.
I promise.
That's probably my favorite line in all of fucking Shakespearean history. Greg died that day. Rest in peace.
Greg died that day, despite being only 4 miles away from the hospital.
Austin Jones, the professional PDF file himself. This man invented a new tactic that gave him the notoriety of being the #1 creep on the internet. This man might as well have invented pedophilia. The amount of skill that he has in manipulating young girls is insane. Compared to Good Games Greg, Austin Jones was a fucking pioneer.
I promise.
His story starts with this video, one that was posted on Twitter. As an extremely famous YouTuber at the time, looking like a thirst trap for teenage girls and boys, he was able to attract a bunch of underage girls to send him porn videos, which were very cleverly storyboarded by him. The amount of power he held on the internet was so vast that famous YouTuber Jacksepticeye was questioned about this case. This is what he had to say.
So anyway, Jacksepticeye, you must have your, you must have a lot of connections on YouTube. Did you know Austin Jones? Was he a good friend?
Thankfully, no. I did not spread my butthole for Austin Jones.
Yeah, send me a video of you twerking and say, I'm 14, 3 times in the video. And then the girl would say like, yeah, I'm 14. This ass is 14 years old. That's right, 14.
He did it in like the most incriminating way possible. It's like, make sure we know how old you are. Here's a video of me instructing you. He did everything to get caught.
Yeah,
he might as well just
okay,
went to the police himself.
Yeah, now shove my driver's license in your pussy.
Yeah, this is my social security number. Say it loud.
Now call my mom and tell her I'm bad.
After his twerking video was released, a lot more people came forward explaining what had happened to them, and thankfully he was arrested and tried for his crimes. The chat logs that came out were creepy as fuck, but kind of funny.
Mr. Girl is a YouTuber who is best known for his take on the brave and stunning movie Cuties.
Remember this? Remember this piece of trash? I didn't see the film, fuck that. I haven't had Netflix since Big Mouth became a thing.
I gave you a boner.
No, what? No.
It's just a great metaphor for the way that kids want to be sexual and are all about it.
What?
Mr. Girl came out in support of the film, which would be problematic on its own, but the problem is that he decided in his infinite wisdom to mention how he found the blonde one to be attractive. Attractive. A child.
Look at the blonde one. You're supposed to be sitting there holding these two thoughts in your head, and one that these are kids, and the other that they're hot.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That sparked a lot of criticism against his dumbass. People calling him a predator and a PDF file. God, modern lingo is getting weird. I work with PDF files all day, like actual PDF files. Now I can't export as PDF without experiencing temporary PTSD. But it doesn't end there. Mr. Girl decided to take his 15 minutes and extend it to the nth degree by releasing an unfortunately banger parody of Eminem's Criminal.
'Cause I'm a pedophile! I play Smash Brothers, I play Smash Sisters, Smash Daughters and Nieces and Nephews, smash them to pieces. And I wear white bands and I drive one too. Come on, kid, I got some V-Bucks for you. Age is just a number, jail's just a place. FBI, the song right here. Yeah, I'm your worst nightmare. They call me school shooter, but not with a gun. I'm gonna come, find you, and then I'm gonna come.
Add that one to the list.
I love little girls.
For all intents and purposes, he's disappeared from YouTube. He still has a website, so do with that information what you will. James Charles. This weirdo isn't helping the stereotype.
Stereotype? Who's a stereotype?
The stereotype that gays are horny 24/7. Our story starts with straight man and Chad rock climber Gage Gomez. James was quick to call Gage a con artist, apparently leading James on. But then Gage states that it's quite literally the opposite, and that Gage is actually straight and not interested in James's white ass. Afterwards, instead of taking his lack of cancellation as a blessing and leaving his romances to people who are asking for it, motherfucker finds it important to hit on another straight man, who admittedly said he was bi-curious, whatever the fuck that means. And then after making out for hours, James Charles was so bad at it, Sam decided, nah, women for me. James found that to be abhorrent and basically tried to manipulate Sam into believing that he is gay. Nice guy James then gets attacked by Tati, and no one cares about the rest of this until we get to the underage folks. This is where Isaiah comes in, a 16-year-old at the time, being chatted up by James Charles and asked to send him nudes. Yikes. Now, unfortunately, Snapchat is a shitty app that doesn't allow you to archive chats without someone else knowing, and so we only had limited evidence from Isaiah himself. Funnily enough, James Charles's apology was a cookie-cutter pedophile apology, you see. Why would I ruin my life for underage ass? I've got so much to live for, blah 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 blah. Thankfully though, more and more people came out with very similar stories, although not all of them were underage. But the behavior from James was pretty much identical, meaning that James Charles, on top of being a pedophile, is not loyal to his victims in the slightest. Nope, really not helping the stereotype. Funnily enough, James, just like EDP, still has a YouTube channel and is still running it at a fraction of the viewership. Colleen Ballinger. This bitch has already been covered by me in meme format.
Sometimes people make a mistake and it doesn't make them a horrible person. Whoa, people can make a mistake and you can kindly let them know and help them to grow.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no worries. Don't be a pee.
But as a quick recap, she had a group chat with minors, kinda like another person in this video. She would ask them for photos of their bodies, kinda like several others in this video, and on top of that was proudly asking for her fans to stick their hands in her pants, and also lay on their back wearing nothing but a skirt and underwear. The least you can do as a performer is to allow your volunteer to know if they are going to be put in a vulnerable position. The creme de la creme of this whole situation is her apology video being one of the worst and funniest examples. James Charles told his instant influencer competitors to come up with an apology video, but he would have never expected this shit.
Take this from me because I've had to deal with this. As an influencer, when you grow a following, you will either say or do something that people might not like and might not agree with, and eventually, you might have to apologize. So for today's compact challenge, you guys will be filming your very own apology videos.
Imagine the hubris it would take to make this video. Honestly, the worst part of this is that she continued victimizing her victims by completely denying their experiences. It would have been fine if she had at least talked about these allegations, but fuck it. Playing 4 chords on the uke is the best defense. Johnny Depp would have won on the first day if he did that. She still is running her dumbass vlog channel, but her channel is quite dead. At least relatively.
Sniper Wolf.
If you are shocked to hear that name, so was I. Sniper Wolf, for some reason, decided to record herself in 2014 going on Omegle and asking boys to twerk for her, in exchange for her flashing her tits. Sweet. You wanna know what the funniest thing is? This video was up for years before it was taken down, and was well liked. I wonder if the sexes were switched, what would happen? As we all know, Sniper Wolf is a class act. Only a very respectful woman would be arrested for assault and robbery. Only a very self-respecting, classy lady would stalk and dox a YouTuber, simply for criticizing her. For some reason, she gets away with a lot. I mean, what good has she done since starting her YouTube channel? Can you name one thing? Bitch is a menace. Kris Tyson. Oh boy, what a shit show. Kris Tyson is an asshole. This weirdo is proof of how degeneracy runs rampant regardless if it's seen or not. Kris famously transitioned into a woman and was both criticized and lauded for it. My general thought process was, why get married if only 2 years later you were going to be selfish enough to deny your kid a double parent household? And don't give me the bullshit that his kid is with him 24/7. I don't fucking care what anyone says. If your parents aren't together in the house, the times where you are raised with one or the other will affect your development as a child. I mean, isn't it a known fact that a parent that is very much work oriented lead their kids to becoming more attention starved, even if the parents were both still together? Regardless, by the time that Kris became quite the staple on the MrBeast channel, things started coming out about his past behavior, sending explicit messages to minors on Snapchat, like this one. On top of that, old tweets were found where he was praising Shadman's art, the asshole famous for his child illustrations doing some rather questionable things, and most infamously illustrating Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter. Shadman is a menace to society, and any of his supporters should be ashamed of themselves. His supporters include, oh, you know, fucking Kris. Famously, Kris owned and hung one of Shadman's illustrations on his wall, which could be seen in several of MrBeast's older videos, all of which have been edited down to remove the shots that included the poster. What else? He ran a Discord where he would share porn with minors as young as 14. He mentioned being attracted to Danielle Bregoli when she was 13. Funnily enough, MrBeast also mentioned that he wanted to have carnal knowledge with her.
The Catch Me Outside girl and think she's funny, so let's just...
So that just shows what...
Let's be real, you want to put your dick in her?
What else? A person who worked with MrBeast Gaming, known as Lava, who was included in the Discord server, came out in defense of this. But after another person named Nathan, who was also in the Discord server, showed actual proof, like the archived Discord server after it had been apparently scrubbed to get rid of any porn and racism, but still included a lot of gross child endangerment, Lava softened his tone and admitted that he had misremembered what he had experienced. If I'm being honest, this story was the biggest shocker for me. Not to say that I'm some sort of Kris fan, I just thought that MrBeast surrounded himself with good people since he apparently wanted to do good for others. Seems like I was wrong. MrBeast himself is a dick with illegal lotteries, falsified signatures, rigged games, terrible conditions for the players in his challenges, and scamming people with his unhealthy chocolate brand, as if it's some sort of healthy alternative. Look, here's the point of this video. Other than hopefully to get some views, I think it's important to clear up a very important point for the people watching. Do not put your faith in people you haven't met. People on the internet will give you the images that you want to see. never the truth. Everything is edited down to the most digestible and entertaining parts, so you will always get a false perception of whoever you are seeing on the internet. People are messy, people are complicated, and a lot of them might seem like great people. Mother Teresa's clinic was a disgusting, malpractice safe haven, for crying out loud. No one is worth idolizing. Instead, how about you appreciate the individual actions that people do and live up to those standards, and remember that everyone is falsifiable and worthy of criticism. Don't idolize personalities, idolize actions, idolize achievements. And trust me, the world will become much clearer, because people are not what they are, but what they do.